IFRS basic view, the one I recommended you to go through. So you're following my advice. This is what my assumption. So let's see the plan. This is what we're going to discuss today. So first I'll give you walkthrough of an application UI. FCCs application user interface. Look at the high picture, what is what. If time permits, I'll go into a little more detail about FCCs architecture, technical architecture. Then we'll go through some financial consolidation keywords and jargons, which I'll be using almost every day. So as I suggested you, generally I don't ask people to memorize anything. But again, I am saying, since you are going to be financial consolidation consultant, in IFRS, all rules should be on top of your mind. You should be so much good with this compliance and rule. Even someone make wake up in the midnight and ask you something, you should have answer to those questions. That level of expertise in IFRS rules and calculation, this is what I'm assuming. Every step you need it, right? Okay, so when you log into the application, the login credential to be shared, followed by the class. When you log into the application, this is what you see in your screen. What you see in your screen is subject to what role you play, right? It means the interface, your user interface, FCCS, is subject to your role. Based on job role or user interface appear. This term is called navigation flow, right? Why so? Again, you are not going to work with sophisticated IT professionals. You're going to work with these business guys. These business people do not understand technology complexity, and therefore the interface should be simple to use. So if you're a controller, your interface may look different. Controller means financial controller, your budget manager, your director of finance, your group controller. These are different job roles you have. Budget manager. So this interface is not exactly the way I'm looking at. You will also see the same option. Okay. Now when you click on these three dots, you see this called navigator. Right now I'm looking in the context of an administrator, right? There are many context on navigation flow. You can build your own navigation flow as well. So when I log in as CFO job role, my interface may look little different. I may have a different options available because I'm a CFO and I need to do some executive decision making. For strategic and executive decision making, I have a dashboard, right? And I have a compliance view because I log in as CFO, correct? So in the beginning, I'll be using a default view, right? And we see what is what. Since it is hosted by Oracle, you don't have to manage any kind of infrastructure issue, isn't it? When you log in, these small icons, what you see, they are called card. Okay, so you have first card. So card define one unique action item you perform. And then we have a cluster, which is actually a group of cards, isn't it? So for example, I click on data, then I can see handful of options available. This is one card. If I look at Consolidated General, it in turn have multiple options. So this is a cluster, and card and cluster are two terms we use, same as we use in Windows. On the left side, you see who logged in and what activity lined up for you. You being an administrator, what activity lined up for you? How many announcements? What job is supposed to execute today, tomorrow, within 7 days? what jobs are overdue. Okay. So basically, in financial consolidation, we support month and financial closing activity, right? Uh, this term I like to write it over here, and this term I'll be using almost every day. So in financial consolidation, what we do and exactly what is the meaning of it, we'll discuss it. We perform month and closing activity. But if you're coming from account, this is called finalization of account of accounts. It is not something so strange, even you do in your day-to-day life, right? So most of you are salaried. By the end of the month, the beginning of the month, you do some budgeting, you allocate money for your house EMI or rent or both of them, for your children fees. So you do some sort of activities, right? The grocery bill, pending, and utility bill, and so on, right? So you do some sort of closing by the end of this month or beginning of the month. You bifurcate your financial activity. So corporate all do the same thing. Okay. This term is called month-end closing activity. So when you log in, what activity is this? It's a complex system where so many people working, group of companies. So this system tells you what jobs are lined up. This is called task manager, which is like a to-do list. In fact, when you were in college school days, before your exam, you used to prepare exam calendar as a task list. Okay. So there's a quick reminder. So as a user, you don't need to memorize anything. It is in front of you. So first task is task list. Now remember, yesterday also I shown you FCCS itself a three product. So Oracle FCCS I compare with solution from a on-premise and cloud point of view, both comparison we do. So obviously first we need financial consolidation, which is aggregation of financial numbers across subsidiary. For on-premise, the product name is HFM. For cloud, the product name is financial consolidation closed cloud. Then second task is perform financial closing. Extremely important. And businesses sees dire need of automating this. So on-premise has separate product, right? Hyphen financial, hyphen close manager. Separate product, separate license, separate cost. But in cloud, no separate product. Within FCCS, you can do this. Okay. The next task we do in financial called disclosure management. Well, as the name indicate, right? As the name itself. Disclosure management, you do financial disclosure. In accounting disclosure management, in simple layman word, you have information outside of your GL system or supporting details. For this activity, on-premise has a separate product, disclosure management, Hyperion disclosure management. Hyperion because the original vendor was Hyperion. But Oracle has only one product. Then FC says I can do this. Okay. Disclosure management. Then the name of this element is called supplemental data. And this close manager is performed through task, financial closing. Okay. Now visualize this way. This is how financial closing look like. Okay. We discuss why customer purchase EPM solution. We go back to this problem statement once again. Why customer buy this product? Why? They could have done this sheet in Excel. Because in CFO view, what CFO wanted? The CFO view to have one simple, because it is to be used by non-IT people, uniform, right? Across all modules should look and feel should be easy to use, centralized and streamlined. Financial management system. I need one system where I can address my various problems. Correct. So we discussed one problem is reporting and analysis. reporting analysis. Another problem is planning and budgeting. So you are solving only one problem. You are focusing only one problem, financial consolidation and close. Consolidation and close, right? Then you have an account reconciliation, then a profitability and cost management, tax automation, profitability and cost management, right over here again. And then tax automation and profitability and cost management. Now this you are looking at, this is CFO view, right? And this is your view. You are only an FCCS consultant, but during your financial close process, right, you may also need data from other product. You need plan and budget data from planning and budgeting, possibly, right? You need planning and budgeting data from here, or the number you generate in financial consolidation, you pass these numbers in reporting tool. This is also possible. You pass these numbers. What I'm trying to say, there is an exchange of data, but it looks so complicated. The beauty is that from an end user point of view, if you are a accountant, you don't have to bother out. You don't have to bother about this. For you, the entire solution has a one uniform view. This is none of your business. For you, it looks as if you log into one instance, right? You don't have to bother about you're switching or toggling across different products. You will never know that. For you, you are logged in one instance and you can connect across various products. For you, it is a one solution. That is what an Oracle object is, giving a uniform, simplified task manager is this. Task manager facilitate you to connect across various products. And this is the art, this is a skill you need to learn. It takes you time to connect to across different product. So when you are EPM consultant, know multiple product within the space, this is the kind of solution you're going to build. That's a task manager. So when you go deep into that, we'll have option to connect to not only EPM, I forgot, not only EPM, outside EPM as well. I imagine your payroll process is running in Oracle PeopleSoft. Oracle has an old HCM system, PeopleSoft, or PeopleSoft software, where your payroll is running. This solution is, let's say, 15 years old, and you don't feel like going away from this. You can even call PeopleSoft processes within EPM. Isn't it beautiful? PeopleSoft, JD Edward, Oracle EBS, NetSuite, all you can call. Behind the screen, it is REST API behind the screen. Right? So at no point you feel like you are working across multiple solutions. This is where the real beauty of Oracle solution come into picture. Okay. The second, so the second card is infolet. Now I just write a one-line sentence. Infolet is a kind of data visualization, isn't it? So there, I mean, when I look at from a solutioning point of view, I have a different eyes, right? I have a one eye from a sales guy mindset, one of my eye from a end user, business user point of view, one of the eye from a developer point of view. When I look at from a sales guy point of view, infolet is just like a marketing gimmicks. I use this term very often. Marketing gimmicks means something is built. So it has more marketing value than the real value. It's a tiny data visualization tool. Yeah. So after this class, you can log into the instance and play around with what is what. When you click on this, I mean, they are self-explanatory. Click on this, you see that it's kind of dashboard with summarized view. Okay, let it come. Next, we have data, right? What is data? See, this may be 10th time I'm saying. In financial consolidation, we don't bring something from the sky. You don't go and do some miracle. Sorry, this is infolet. Front view, back view, and expanded view. That's what it looked like. So probably a CFO you like to see, key measures, maybe revenue, across product, across different vertical geography, or maybe expanded view. This is infolet. That's it. Yeah. Next, we come back to data. So in data is what it is basically replacement of Excel. So we call this data. Behind this we call data form, where it is being used. So we would be using it almost every day. This is our end user interface. So before FCCs come into picture, a business user would have been using Excel. The idea behind is to give a same look and feel what Excel has. So data form is used for, this is called data or data form, is used for end user interaction, right? It is a replacement of Excel. Data form is used for data validation. We use almost every day, right? And I said it again, I'm saying 70% of your time, energy, 70% of time, energy, efforts goes to in data validation, especially when your application is new to the system. This is FCCS class. People who join from planning, please quit this class. This is FCCS class. So it is used for data validation. Data form is also used. In data form, we have different techniques. Data form you use when you apply unit testing. Data form you use when you use UAT. Data form you use when you run CRP, conference room pilot. You use this in multiple contexts, multiple ways. Right? So after you log in today, casually browse through this application. Yeah, just browse it. This is a vision application. Now the vision application we would be using throughout our learning. The reason behind this, Oracle built this application in such a way that it covers almost all important aspects of a product. Practically, when you implement or use this product, you may not need some functionality. And also, you do not know the best way, the best industry standard to use the product. And therefore, uh, vision application give you good interface. What I suggest you just after class, log in and casually browse it. Go to vision application, just casually browse. Okay. For example, you go to financial statement, the balance sheet. Then you see there are so many versions of balance sheet given, so many versions. Click any one of them, just casually browse. You get to know what is what. This is your data form. Okay, the same data form has one more view. The data form is a web interface. We have what you call the replacement of data form. Data form has Excel version as well. This Excel version is called Smart View. That is what right after today class, I'll send you software and a video tutorial to configure the Smart View. Take you 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes configuration. And throughout our learning, all validation we do through data form or Excel version called Smart View. I personally use Smart View and I encourage my business user to use Smart View because as an accountant, as a controller, You business people are more accustomed, aligned, comfortable with Excel, right? Yesterday I told you the success of the solution does not lie only you implement, you go live, that's it. The success of your solution depends on your customer continue to use product. I know 30% customers and big customers, they opt the solution after 1 2 years they stop using. They continue to go back to Excel. Why? Your product is great, everything is good, but the user adaptability is big challenge. We people, the problem with a typical IT software developers, right? We have a certain way of thinking. We think in terms of technology. We don't think the business, the problem an end user has. And something is very simple, complicated for an accountant. So this is a skill you need to develop as you grow up in your career ladder. Okay, so smart view is one interface. Then we have another interface called uh, generals. What is general and what is consolidated generals? So in finance, we perform certain adjustments or corrections. Okay. And when you look at the pyramid and we perform adjustment different level. So whenever the term general comes in your mind for IT people, right, the image should come in your mind. General means adjustment, correction of numbers. Okay. The other day we discussed organization pyramid. This organization pyramid, uh, different layers. The bottommost layer from an application accounting point of view. Okay, the bottommost layer we perform operational activities. And in simple word, here if you talk in the context of accounting, you record the transaction. Isn't it? You record all the transaction. So from an ERP accounting point of view, use ERP, general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, cash management. There are different module of ERP, fixed assets, revenue recognition, and so on. There are so many elements it has, payroll. Now here, so what we do, we record a business transaction, right? When you go to Walmart or some store, when you buy something, they use one software where they record the accounting transaction. This transaction recording is from accounting point of view, they call general posting. So general posting is a way to record accounting transaction, right? And it is also used for adjustment and ERP level. But here, what kind of data you're working on? At the bottommost layer, you work on an individual entity level. That is what we work. ERP, we work maybe or may not be an individual entity level. Whereas this is a middle management, which is none of our business. We don't work into this module, but this is a more departmental solution. Since it is not scope of a discussion, so I'm not talking about it. Department solution like a customer relationship management, supply chain management, and other kind of tool which works more precise to department. We work in the topmost layer of an organization, and this is the EPM. The topmost level of an organization where you perform a strategy decision making, strategic, right? So here, what you do, you get all the data which you call trial balance. What our IT guys call, you call data file. I won't be using a term called data file. I'll be using a term called trial balance. Okay. So you get data from your ERP system and put into EPM. And this is where we work on group of company level. Our objective is working at group of company level, group of companies. So when you record, when I say general posting, the moment I say this word, your mind should quickly create the image. The mind should quickly create an image. Oh, general posting means some kind of adjustments or corrections. some kind of correction. But what exactly this correction we'll discuss later. But consolidate general, the term consolidation means working in the topmost layer. Consolidation entails working at topmost layer of an organization. So wherever the word consolidation comes, your mind should immediately tell you, oh, consolidation means something, some action at the group of company level. Some action you're performing at group of company level. We'll discuss this in greater detail, just a big picture. There's one more new feature, enterprise general. Now, you need to keep this thing on top of your mind. FCC is a product. It has so many functionality. Probably even if you work your entire life, 20, 30 years, you work in your entire life, still there's a great possibility you may not use all the features of the product. You may not use it. The product is built with a certain standard world scenario and continue to evolving, right? As customers started using a different geographical location, different customer. So enterprise journal is one of the such scenario. So we haven't implemented what I teach you, it is my experience. Enterprise journal we haven't implemented, but what it does, whatever generally data flow is from bottom to up, right? You loaded a trial balance from ERP to your EPM, and then you perform some calculations. But enterprise journal facilitates you to perform adjustment from top to bottom. It means you make an adjustment at group of company level, and this adjustment you carry forward to ERP system. This is a bit difficult and daunting job. Why? The first, anybody who comes from ERP know that right back to ERP system is a daunting job, especially from outside system, outside your core system. It's a daunting job. And second thing, we are not working on one ERP system. You're working across different ERP systems. Imagine you're working on Tally, Focus, QuickBooks, Xero, Zoho. Uh, do you expect somebody to know all ERP system to write back this? So enterprise general, for now, the moment I say it's a general, which let you perform some adjustments, some corrections from group of company level, FCC level back to ERP. Okay. Reporting are self-explanatory. Now there are various types of report. You see, I have a reporting as a separate product, reporting a separate solution. Okay. So Oracle EPM reporting offering is that these are the different types of reporting. Oracle EPM reporting solution. First reporting we used to call web reporting, or we used to call HFR, which is just few minutes before, 2-3 months before it is retired or about to retire in the month of June. HFR, 25 years old product, IP and financial reporting. Oracle is retiring it, sunsetting it, and Oracle want to replace this with a new reporting solution to be replaced with narrative reporting. Do you see the term narrative reporting? Do you hear the term narrative reporting? The name narration means adding some comments, annotation along with reporting. So our first audience of our business is who are our audience, our target users. So one of your target users are internal management bodies, users. They're internal users, right? And you are not bound to follow any compliance, right? It's my company, it's my right, it's my choice. How do I prepare report? It's my choice, right? So it's not compliance based. You can create report the way you like it. But for external users, external governing bodies, right? You cannot prepare report the way you like, right? It has to be in predefined format, governed by the underlying country. For example, the other day I shown you 10K, 10Q reporting. A Q for quarter, K for year. So if you're working for US based company, these reports are controlled by SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, okay, which is like a SEBI in India, 10K, 10Q reporting. What I'm trying to say, even you file your income tax, property tax, it has to be certain format. So this is a format. So for this also, Oracle is promoting narrative reporting. But unfortunately, the reality is that the adoption in the industry for narrative reporting is very less. Not many people are highly excited or comfortable with it. There's one product is gaining a lot of popularity, uh, Workivia. Just giving an additional knowledge. Workivia is a compliance-based report, isn't it? So even the market leader, well-established market leader like Oracle, they are facing competition, right? And they are aligning their strategy according to market. So where do we stand? We bound to align or learn according to the demand of the industry. Everybody from top to bottom who used to be a market leader, used to have a monopoly once upon a time. Their monopoly also not working at all now. So anyways, this is the scope. This is a reporting. Then we have one more reporting or for internal management reporting. I make a subset. Okay. What user reports? What should I call the term? Maybe user report is fine. So there you create a report for object-based reporting, session reporting. You create session, and there is various types of report to be used internally. Session reports like how many people connected today. For example, like to see in last 10 days, how many people connected and action performed. This is actually called audit. This report also you can render. There's a reporting option we have. Different types of reporting. Standard report, financial, documentation, consolidation, general, intercompany, and so on. Next comes to approval, where the name indicates approval. Probably the first time you confront approval when you were in school and you used to write an application to your teacher for leave. I beg to say, right? So approval is same as we used to do it in school days, but it is more sophisticated and organized. Oracle follow undocumented the approval process called SEC standard, Security and Exchange Commission. Sorry, this is called Sarbanes-Oxley or SOX 404. It's an internal audit, right? Isn't it? So what is this approval? Now imagine this is your organization structure. Your organization consists of you're working for a Bank of America, and this is a real structure. Line of business, subline of business, division, subdivision, group and cost center. So most probably if you're working for a multinational company, in your salary statement you see, or maybe in your HR portal, you see your salary is being rendered or mapped to, job is mapped to certain cost center. Okay. This is your organization structure. Under this, there's a cost center, give some imaginary name. This is my cost center. This cost center talk about all type of global travel expense. So any travel expense company incur, it maps to this cost, or maybe the salary you render, you get EPM support. The money company spend for EPM application support is mapped to this cost center, and your salary also comes from this cost center. Okay. Now, company, let's say your department is going to hire a new EPM support company, hiring, or maybe your company is starting in-house EPM support, hiring new EPM consultant, right? And it has certain cost. It has some cost. So it is unlike your wish, you want to hire 4 people, you go and you hire it. No, you need to have an approval, right? You need to have approval from HR and finance department. So this is an approval process. So maybe the approval go from cost center manager. Cost center manager will review the request. Maybe he doesn't have access rights, so he's going to promote it or reject it or approve it or sign off and approve, isn't it? You see, you see, uh, there is a certain level of approval process subject to the kind of approval you're requesting. Now, if probably to request $3,000, it won't go to this level. But if you're hiring 50 employees and their overall cumulative expenses 5 million, and obviously it will go through line of business manager approval. This approval is controlled by approval process. Just in big picture, an idea. Then it comes to extremely important thing, extremely important, especially you are an IT support. The term is called rule. And this is the area where you need to spend a lot of time. Two areas where you need to spend a lot of time. One is data validation. Because this is not something happen overnight. This will require lot of practice, right? See, you build a best application of the world, excellent, but if numbers are not matching, is a waste for me, waste, total waste. Right? So the rule entails they are called business logics or calculations. Okay, so there are two terminology we call. One use we call term called seeded rule. Seeded rule, as the name indicates, they are pre-built rule. They are built on top of IFRS 10 compliance. This is the reason every day I ask you, please go through IFRS 10 basic and Excel based consolidation. Because when you start learning rules without Excel based consolidation, it will be super complicated for you. Super complicated. You know? So seeded rules are predefined rule and you cannot tamper it. Right? Then we have one more rule called custom rule. The custom rule, what terminology we call configurable configurable consolidation. So if you're a typical IT developer with you project 5, 10 years experience, then people will expect you in interview that you know configurable consolidation. We have some case studies for this. Now, configurable consolidation is an open ocean, right? In my business, I don't follow IFRS 10 compliance. We follow a local compliance, my country specific compliance. They I may have a different way of working. It won't be altogether different, but there are tiny changes. So ocean, I mean, there's no limit. I cannot define limit. The configuration consolidation has 20 problems. It could be anything. Yeah. There's one more rule we call on demand rule. We have a case study for this also. On demand rule, the name indicates on demand rule. Okay. They run on the fly. So there are three types of rules we have. Here you're running this rule. See, seeded rule, you hit point and click. You remember I said it first day. Why company should hire you or me, right? Any one of us. Because the same job, even a high school pass student can do it. I click on consolidation and hit this button, run. That's it. Consolidation is done. Does it require extensive technical knowledge? Absolutely not. This is not challenge, but behind this, what calculation happening, that is challenging. And what if we are not living in a perfect world? What if your business user give you wrong data, incorrect data? Errors are always there, human mistakes. If you feed wrong data, wrong calculation will take place. You have incorrect numbers at your balance sheet. People will blame that you did something wrong. How do you prove you got a wrong data, right? So that is also possible. There are a lot of struggle, unsaid, undefined difficulties. There is no boundary. When you get into the system, you get to know about it. Then we have application maintenance related job. See, our job, what you are going to do it. What is your job? Your job is to make sure application business operation work uninterruptedly. You want to make sure you are supporting business activity uninterrupted. That is why you are being hired for. Yeah. So application maintenance is being done over here. Therefore, when you go for FCCA certification, the certification itself name is implementation application support. Everything pertaining to application support, they ask you. There are a lot of options we have. Again, I give you big picture. Okay. So application support. Okay. First task over here is that overview. As the name indicate overview, we do different activities over here. We do metadata management, metadata management. and other application day-to-day application support job activities, we do it over here. Okay. Then you have a consolidation, the name indicate, you manage consolidation activity, which is the essence, soul of the entire learning. Manage period, task manager, just now I explained task. This is related to that. Supplemental data is a supporting information. Supplemental data is a supporting details. Uh, Supporting detail, or other word, data outside outside from GL system. Anything, right? Anything. Okay. Let's say in your financial consolidation, for some reason, you're managing payroll data. Possible, right? You're managing within your application, you're running product profitability, right? You're managing lease accounting, anything which is outside your system, you can manage it. And to get an idea, what could be possibility? Again, go to the best way to look at a real problem. Go to Google and look at PepsiCo. Look at any company financial data, right? You have no clue what is supporting detail. So in your free time, whenever you find some time, read this document. Probably don't get 100%, but even if you get 5-10%, you get an idea what customer is expecting. So when I say supplemental data, it could be other information. It could be information pertaining to legal proceeding, right? Unresolved staff comments. Anything could be supplemental data. System can maintain. Okay. Journal posting, and these are some configuration detail. Okay. I don't want to go everything right now. This is big picture for now. As we proceed, we talk about that. So right now, application support job. Then we have a tools. Tools, and the name indicate this is admin toolkit. Right. So in admin toolkit, what do? You do activities pertaining to administrator, pertaining to application administration, right? Not infrastructure administration. That is to be managed by Oracle. Let's quickly, when you do backup and recovery, application backup and recovery, then we talk about you do application backup recovery. We can do automation, right? Application setting, security, application setting, performance tuning, admin setting, performance tuning. The typical IT job, performance tuning, right? I'm sure performance tuning is not something you mug up 20 questions and you pour out and say now your application, I mean application would work fast. There's no guarantee, right? So there's not well predefined 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 questions which you mug up and you apply that setting. It's require, you know, prudent and detailed understanding about the underlying system. So every time I use a term called subjective, I always answer subjective. There's no defined answer. It depends upon the nature of business. So we have tools, right? So the big picture of what is what. Now we go one step little further. From an architecture point of view, this is how your solution works. So your solution has got two engine or a database, and it is behind the screen. This is called Oracle hosted cloud. This engine or a database is called Space. Almost 30 years old product. 30 years old. First multi-dimensional database. This is called Space. So Space has got two cube. One is called console. Console entails consolidation. Another cube is called rate. Rate entails currency exchange rate. It is like a train with a two engine. That is how you can visualize a train with a two engine, two databases. Yeah. Who manages this? It's not you. Who manages this? Oracle manages it. है On top of then we have one more database called Oracle Relational Database. So all business logics, calculations, complex calculations are being done over here. So I would write a comment. These two databases are designed for all business logics and calculations to be done over here. Then you have one more database called Oracle database. The beauty is that you don't have to bother about it, right? This is to be managed by Oracle. Then none of my business. You don't have to bother about it. Just for the sake of your additional knowledge I'm giving. Then on top of this, you have an application, right? FCCs application. The application is what? It is user interface. You communicate to the application via user interface. And then you have a business users. So I'm just giving a heads up. There are three class of business user. Three class of business users. So these are the users. So these users connect to your application. What I mark with gray color, this is hosted by, managed by Oracle. So you don't have to bother about it. Nah, it's behind the screen, the cloud hosting. You will never be able to communicate to Oracle database. You need not write SQL query. You don't need to bother about it. You will only communicate to application. Okay. Every time you're reading and writing, this is what it happened. Now there are two paths. So I use a two different color. Okay. So suppose you do make some metadata change. Metadata change. So this go via relation database. All the metadata change. I'm using red color for metadata. The metadata change means you're adding new customer, product, your sunset, your some product is getting sunset. Any structure change, it always goes via, first it go to relation database and then it goes to SBSQ. Why? The architecture is built in such a way that this is a flow. Okay. Because space cube is not designed, space cube is not designed for non-textual data. It is designed only for numbers. You store only numbers over here. So all textual data or text data you store over here. Textual you store over here. Textual means comments, text, right? On numeric data you store over here, numbers you store over here. So every time you communicate metadata, this is the path. Metadata communication, metadata change means you're adding new customer, product, cost center, and so on. Then data change. Data change take place directly from an application all the way around to your space queue. This is data change. Data change does not require relation database. I'm giving a big picture. Okay, there are certain exceptions. Some data also require relation database. Supplemental data store over here. Just an example. Supplemental data is stored in Oracle. Yeah. So for example, you need to store your payroll data, which is not part of, which is not required for consolidation. You store over here. All narrative data, supplemental data, textual data store over here. And data communication takes place like this. So you have two different paths. Blue color is data and red color is metadata. You will see live when you run through an application. But just look at the big picture. Okay. One more thing I said, who are your users? I keep on saying. Your users of primary three classification, three category. Okay. And for you users are accountant or everybody who come onto this work to system called user. But I always talk in the context of three. One is called service administrator, which you guys are. Service administrator name indicator. Of course, there are administrator with unrestricted administrator with unrestricted access. You're owner of the process, right? You're administrator. The second class of user we work on, second class user called power user. Power user. Well, power user not power user is somebody who's powerful. Power user is somebody coming from business. They are business guys, but are trained on technology, right? So that they can do application maintenance job they can do without any IT support. It means your job is in mistake. Application support job, they can do it to some extent. Okay, to what extent I cannot measure. 5 kilogram application support job, they can do it. Unfortunately, we can't measure this way, 5 kilogram of application support. So unfortunately, there's no measurement unit like that. I cannot measure it. But as we go on, but power user are the people. So primarily you would be running these two roles, you guys. Okay. However, if you're an accountant, then you would be doing one of these roles, user and viewer. So user is what? Accountant, controller, budget manager, name indicate. Then advanced information consumer, who can play around with numbers, play around with data. And viewer, just again, is a big picture. We'll go into more detail. Viewer is final or absolute end user. They're absolute end user, right? Who are they? They are senior executive. Suppose I am a CFO. I don't have a time to look at every granular detail. I need quick, actionable information, which I get it from dashboard. Quick, actionable information, which I get from dashboard. This is an architecture. Technical and functional, both are incorporated into one process way. The one which is marked in gray color, you don't need to bother about it. However, once you reach to experience, probably you spend 10 years plus with the product, you would also be handling issues pertaining to application architecture, application performance. Okay, you will be giving a recommendation. Consultant job is to give a recommendation, right? Helping business to adopt the product in a best possible way. Helping business to adopt the product best possible way. You tell customer how to use the product, but you guys cannot do this job right away. Nah, it comes with experience. That is your target 3, 5, 10 year down the line. Right now, you will be following the architecture provided by your team and you're performing application support activity. So that is what we're trying to achieve. Okay. The next we are going to do it. First hands-on we start from tomorrow. So I'll send you a video tutorial of creating application today. So today we just discussed this architecture. And today's takeaway, again, I want you to do this job. Please continue to watch IFRS 10 basics and Excel based consolidation. Right, continue to do this. And we discussed FCCs architecture, which is already available in your shared location, session number 2 in your Google Drive. And tomorrow we start first hands-on. Tomorrow we discuss creating application. Right? So the architecture, what we discussed today, I'll show you this thing live. Creating application. Tomorrow also we create FAQs. Yeah. Or user, what you call questionnaires, isn't it? To start your application. To start your application, you need to ask questions from the user. You won't have an answer to all the questions. Neither you have all questions. It is an onion model. Onion, right? Layer by layer you learn. It is not a waterfall development where you have all problems are defined and you build the product solution. No, it is 100% agile development. So you do mistake, you go back, you again do it, probably do mistake, again you go back. It is like 100%. Tomorrow we would be collecting extremely important. I mean, this is you guys are going to do that. I'm just a facilitator. You prepare questionnaires to be asked as part of your first step of FCC's implementation. Sample questionnaires I already capped into shared location. Okay. So now you have to look at the email carefully then. There are multiple folders. Take me a screenshot. Share the screenshot where you have a difficulty accessing Google Drive. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. If you have any question, you can ask me. No question? All right, perfect. No question. So we stop here and we discuss tomorrow. Okay. Which recording is
Sure.
already in your Google Drive. Go to your drive at google.com. It's already here. Go to FCCS under shared with me. Under shared with me. There you see a folder called FCCS. Go to shared with me. Probably you registered yesterday, so after class I'll share across with you. First, hands-on creating application, followed by this class. I'll give you link, a video tutorial. But what I'm talking about under classes, Excel scenario, these are the folders where you can find everything. For example, today tomorrow I'm going to talk about create applications. So a video I capped over here called technical video. Class number 3. I'll give you direct link so you don't have to bother about it. But just for the sake of your learning, the place I capped it, create application and all.
Sure.
All right, so we continue tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.